hey there, pal.
How's it going?
You know, the Dagon on, Dagon on,
It's pronounced Dagon.
Yeah, but that doesn't work for the joke. So I gotta get out of
I
here.
mean, you don't work for the joke.
Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, thank God. Action sequences or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with a plot. This is a perfect game for me. Holy shit.
I am writing
really
this
is.
under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Well, me too, buddy. Me too.
Dramatic a little. Alright. Oh, God. Okay. This looks interesting.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Okay.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
Well,
I mean, that's a
You
feather.
said-
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Okay. This guy's a little excessive.
he really is. But if you think about it, so was H.P. Lovecraft.
Too true. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restrictions until 1914. Morphine became more popular
Damn.
after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Friedrich Setterner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphium after Morpheus, the guy from The Matrix. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the Estados Unidos. You can, or go back to the later, show it when I find it. I'm not gonna, no.
It
I
was
love
in
what
one
this
of the
game is,
most
by the
open
way.
and least frequented
Right.
parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it down a little again. This guy's a little loud still. Perfect. Oh, we gotta look around again. Look for trivia. Look for
Does it
trivia.
glow?
It'll
I
pop
mean-
up that little stick thing. Like, that brings
Oh,
up the
this is-
arrows. That's
this-
advanced.
It's literally a point and click.
I can't move.
I don't see anything, bud.
The Great
Who are you
War was
killing?
then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation,
Okay.
so that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Damn.
Is that the flag that I think it is?
Quite possibly.
Because if so, that's a problem. Oh, we're gonna find out. The Huns. Okay, it's not what I thought it was. Thank God. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century after death. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans. Oh. Maybe this flag was a problem then.
It's definitely a problem.
Yeah. In order to emphasize the brutality, however, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited. Just as 1,000 years ago, the Huns, under their king Attila, made a name for themselves. One that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. It's just funny how phrases change over time. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the laws and customs of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. So yeah, that is the flag I thought it was. Yeah.
It really, yeah.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Provisions? Yep. Okay. Alright. Cool.
How are you gonna fling yourself from a window?
When I
don't
finally
know.
found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was
You
somewhat
go out into
south
the
of
middle
the
of the
equator.
ocean.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
When in doubt, go towards the moon.
Right? Or actually fucking grab a sextant or something? Like, they're common among seafarers, you jackass.
Don't you mean seaman?
Seafarers?
The weather kept fair,
sea women.
and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the
Counts.
scorching sun, waiting
And
either for some
come.
passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
And twins.
What is this, 2004?
First of all, you love that.
That doesn't change my question. Alright, let's get some water, bro.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept.
What?
Its details I shall never know,
What?
for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Hello?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse
No.
of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
It's over there.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
To the core.
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding
Ew.
from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
I've seen that movie. Yeah, you. Yes, you. What you do in the bathroom to those people is horrific.
Perhaps I should not hope to
Disgusting.
convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness
Wait, I've never
that
seen
can
those movies.
dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
Homogeneity.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, dude.
I don't think we were ever in Kansas.
Bullshit. I've been to Kansas. There's ocean everywhere.
As I
What was
crawled
that
into the
sound?
stranded boat,
I don't wanna talk
realized
about
that
it,
only
alright?
one theory could explain my position.
but I know what it sounded like.
Macaroni and cheese.
It sounded like the end of that video with one of the... Oh, no, I wouldn't know.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor
You can look
must have been
around,
thrown to the surface,
in the further.
exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable
My
watery
MRE!
depths. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath
My
me
lantern?
that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Oh, that's a big old blob of something.
So we might be in Kansas.
Nor
I
were
mean,
there any
there's
seafowl
not a
to
lot
prey
of
upon the dead
ocean in
things.
Kansas.
Hello, fish.
Oh,
Cuttlefish.
hold on, look around.
I'm looking.
See if the blob. Okay.
Blob.
Looks like it wants you to eat
Oh, you think
the
there's
dead fish.
you think there's trivia about this little fuck?
Hell yeah, brother.
Ugh.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which
Well,
lay upon its side and
not in the
afforded a
boat.
slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness
I
and
don't like it. I
seemed
can see
likely
them
to
better.
dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
I don't like it at all.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Okay, well... Yeah, there's no trivia here. Let's get out
On the
of here.
third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
We can just head east. It sounded a
All
lot
day
better.
I forged
Ooh,
steadily
what is
westward,
that?
guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
How about no? No.
I say no, Mr. Weasley.
Weasley. Harry Potter! Harry Potter!
Continue. Is that a whale?
That's a whale.
Well, you're fucked.
I was gonna make the same joke, but I was gonna go whale,
That
whale,
night,
whale.
I encamped, and on the following day still travelled
sorry,
toward
everybody,
the
we're-
hummock, though that object
Terrible.
seemed scarcely
same
nearer
kinda stupid.
than when I had first espied it.
We're the same two brain cells fighting to be third place.
Third place out of 2.
Two. The last two brain cells fighting for third place.
In someone else's mind, mind you.
Travis's.
Poor guy's not even here.
By the fourth evening,
He's
I
already
attained the
catching-
base of
he's
the
already
mountain,
catching strays.
which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
To see this thrilling gameplay.
An intervening
Poor
valley
boy.
setting it out in
I mean, it's
sharp
beautiful.
relief from the general
Oh,
surface.
it is. Like, we should go climb this, you know?
Too weary
Up,
to
down.
ascend, I slept
Sticky,
in the shadow of
fish
the hill.
smelly.
I know not
Tentacly.
why my dreams were so wild that night,
That's for you.
Oh, of course,
but
yes.
ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain,
Gibbous!
I was awake in
There
a
it
cold
is.
perspiration,
A gibbous.
determined to sleep no more.
It's kind of dark.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day.
Why that?
Man, he's getting after it on these strings.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Yeah, dummy.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
You can
Okay,
just
but-
say the top of the hill.
Here's the thing, bud.
What's up?
Yeah, you could totally travel by night, but all you have is the moon. And it's not
I
even
have
a
said
full
that
moon.
the
It's
unbroken
a
monotony
gibbous.
of the rolling
It's a gibbous.
plains
A
was a
waning.
source of vague
It's a
horror
waning
to
gibbous,
me.
right? That's what he said.
That's a waxing gibbous.
Okay, wax. I swore he said waning, but whatever. I digress. Here's the thing. You said it troubled you to go up at the end of a day after you, traveled, 10 hours in sunlight? Of course, traveling up a hill is going to suck afterwards. Suck
But
my
I
dick, you
think my horror
dumbass.
was greater when I gained the
Sorry.
summit of the mound
He may
and
have
looked
said
down the other side into an immeasurable
waning, I
pit
don't
or
know.
canyon,
I don't know my moons.
whose black recesses
What's the difference
the
between waning
moon
and
had not
waxing?
yet
What is
soared
it?
high enough to illumine.
One
You
is
know?
when the moon is getting bigger, and one is when it's getting smaller.
Which one's getting bigger?
Waxing.
Correct. Waning is when it's going away.
Yeah.
There
I
you
felt
go.
myself
He's a
on the
smart
edge of the
kitty.
world.
I mean, I'm an English major, so I just knew what the words meant.
Did
And
you
I
also
saw-
know that waning?
I saw that documentary where he talked about the wax on, wax off, so I know about waxing.
Mhm.
Peering over
Did you
the
also know
rim
that
into
Waning Gibbous
fathomless
is a
chaos
band?
of eternal night.
I did not.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost
That's actually a band I like, Paradise Lost. They're pretty good.
and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms
they're a
of
real band.
darkness.
I didn't know Yu-Gi
As
was
the
in here.
moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
So he's at the top of the hill, correct? See, this is why you
No,
travel by day,
He's
dickhead.
at the top of the eminence.
Ledges
Oh.
and outcroppings of rock
Or
afforded
shadows?
fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Jump, you coward!
Do a
Whilst
flip.
after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
You can just say slope. Good God, you're annoying.
Urged on by an impulse
Whoa,
which
what's
I
that?
cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath,
It looks like a
gazing into the
gigantic
Stygian
pillar.
deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
Bro, okay, first of all, we need to start using these words like Stygian.
All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An
Okay,
object
before you
that
continue-
gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Okay, before you continue. Before you continue,
I'm
I'm gonna
continuing.
throw shade. I'm gonna throw shade at my ex. She wouldn't understand half the fucking words being said in here. She's not a stupid person. She just chooses not to learn. And whenever I used words such as garish or incomparable, she's like, I don't know what that means. And I tried to explain it to
By
her.
the
She's
way-
like, I didn't ask you to be a dictionary.
That
Fuck
was my
you.
favorite companion from Mass Effect, Garish.
I thought it was Garrus,
It is.
not garish.
It is.
Fuck
That it was
you.
merely a
You're an
gigantic piece
asshole.
of stone, I soon assured myself.
Hey, I need
But I
something
was
here to keep me
conscious
going.
of a
I'm getting
distinct
the ADHD
impression that
starting
its
to kick in.
contour and position were not altogether
game's
the
not
work
for
of
you.
nature.
I thought it was, but it's not.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I
It turns
cannot
out I like
express.
to move around and jump and shit.
Most games, but can you
I
even
need
jump in real
something-
life?
I need something to do with my hand. I'll do it right fucking now. Okay? Fuck you.
Do you
Fuck
do
you.
you have your
Yes, I do.
camera on? Jump for me, bitch.
It was pathetic. Oh,
Oh God.
I'm actually gonna raise my desk just so I'm not sitting. It's raising.
All right. Tune into our next challenge where anytime Chad jumps in a game, he jumps in real life.
Don't let me play Overwatch then.
For despite its enormous
Because I don't walk in that
magnitude
game, I jump
and
around.
its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young,
Oh, I'm getting hot
I
too.
perceived beyond a doubt that the strange
I'm a little
object was
warm.
a
I think it's
well-shaped
bourbon.
monolith
I was wearing a hoodie.
whose massive bulk had known the workmanship.
Don't ask me why I was
Not
wearing a
perhaps
hoodie
the
in
worship
June in Texas.
of living and thinking creatures.
I'm not wearing anything.
It's a good thing.
That's a lie.
the
Okay,
webcam
okay,
is
I
on.
okay. I can't. I am wearing clothes,
Dazed and
but I'm not
frightened,
wearing a
yet
fucking
not without
hoodie.
a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Oh, damn it. I was trying to pour some Mr. Pibb. Man, I want some more trivia, bro.
You have Mr. Pibb?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it sounds so
near the
good right
zenith,
now.
shone weirdly and vividly above the
pouring it into
towering
my gigantic
steeps
sriracha
that hemmed in
mug.
the chasm,
Okay, first of all, is it pronounced Zenith or Zenith?
and revealed the fact that a far-flung
I think
body
it's
of
an
water
accent
flowed
thing.
at the bottom, winding
Okay.
out
Or
of
not
sight
accent,
in
like
both directions, and
The
almost
different kinds of
lapping my
English.
feet as I
Like
stood
American
on the
English
slope.
and English.
Okay, so we go more E. Well,
we
to like Old English
Yeah, we
with
go
Zenith.
more E. They go more eh. Zen. Zenyatta. See?
Across the chasm, the
And we say
wavelets
Haven't heard
reached the
it.
base of the cyclopean monolith,
fuck you.
I'm gonna start saying that now, by the way.
on whose surface I could now
Okay,
trace
but
both inscriptions
when was the last time you heard anyone
and
say
crude
Zenith?
sculptures.
I mean, Zenith, whatever. Besides the TV brand.
That's a TV brand.
Are you fucking kidding me? It was a TV
The
brand back in
writing
the
was in a system of
90s and early
hieroglyphics
2000s.
unknown to me,
I
and
wasn't even
unlike
born
anything
yet.
I'd ever seen in books.
I was
They're
born in
manufactured.
2007.
They're a manufacturing company.
Consisting for the most part
It's
of
been a long time since I've
conventionalized
heard someone say
aquatic symbols
Zenith.
such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales,
Oh.
and the like.
It's LG now. It's
Several
no longer
characters
Zenith.
obviously
Yeah, that's kinda
represented
what I thought.
marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial
Man, I really just
carving,
don't know what to do with
however,
my hands
that did
here.
most to hold me spellbound.
Just try not to do anything.
I can't. I have to move.
Trivia.
Dagon contains
Dude.
many themes and storytelling Wait, this isn't trivia. Such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and characters notes, the Shadow of Time, the Haunter of the Dark. Should I order a bunch of Lovecraft shit and read it?
In all
I'm
honesty, if
interested.
you tell me whatever books you get, and I will get the same books, and we'll do like a miniature book club between us. Yeah, we don't understand why we have a fascination with Lovecraft. It literally just came up this year that a lot of the things we like are Lovecraftian.
Were an array of bas
Well-
reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré.
It's because it's very similar to the works of one H.R. Giger, and I love that man.
I think that these
freak
things
that he
were
is.
supposed to depict men.
You want to say it
At
again?
least a certain sort
Giger.
of men. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
And yes, the alien from Alien is based off of a penis. It is what it
Or
is.
paying homage at some monolithic shrine.
No.
all
which
know it.
appeared to be
It-
under the waves as well.
The mouth was based off of a penis. It was originally meant to be a reproductive organ.
Of their faces and forms,
but then they
I dare not
changed it.
speak in detail.
Also, did you like the details they gave about when the aliens are cocooned up in the newest Alien movie?
I
How they kinda
didn't
went into
watch
further
it.
Detail? Oh, okay, never mind.
For the mere remembrance
Someone told
makes
me it was
grow
garbage.
faint.
I mean, it's not a great movie.
Grotesque beyond the imagination
It's
of
worth
a
watching,
Poe
though.
or a Bulwer.
Well, there's I
They
might
were
end up watching because there's a new
downright
fucking
human in
Predator
general
thing out.
outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide
Well,
and flabby
and not to
lips,
mention the Alien show comes out in 2 months.
glassy, bulging eyes, and other
Are they-
features less pleasant to recall.
Are they redoing the whole story, or is it just a different story
It's called Alien
added
Earth.
Oh Curiously
Oh my
enough, they
fucking
seem to
God.
have
Okay.
been chiseled
There's going to
badly
be a
out of
line where someone
proportion
goes,
with their
"Welcome
scenic
to
background.
Earth," and it's going to be Will Smith.
For one of the creatures
No.
was shown in the act of killing a whale.
You got the
represented
line
as
wrong. It was a little
larger than
girl,
himself.
and she said, "Earth, welcome."
I remarked,
Try again.
as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
Welcome to Earth.
But in a moment decided that they
Fuck
were
outta here.
merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
By the way, I have
No,
not
they're
been paying
mermaids.
attention.
Tribe whose
Not gonna
last
lie.
descendant had perished eras
I have.
before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
Just sit down with the editor. You'll end up re-listening to half this shit anyway.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist,
I still gotta fire that guy.
I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
I seen
the
it.
bubbles.
I don't like that. That's not good.
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface,
Slight?
the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Don't do it. I will shit my pants.
Fiend-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous
This is the guy she told me not to worry about.
monster of nightmares to the
Weird.
world, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then.
That's when it was?
Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
You went back to the boat?
Apparently. I don't remember a lot of it. Do you get it? Because that's what he said he didn't. He remembered little.
I believe
Hello.
I sang a great
Yeah.
deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Okay, it's sounding eerily like me in the shower now.
I feel that.
Also, I have seen Starship Troopers. I know where this goes. It goes into my skull.
We already ran it. We ran across this thing already.
Did we?
I have indistinct
Yeah.
recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
So what you're telling me is that
I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
he ran across a part of the ocean that dried up, and then he walked across the ocean floor, found some fucked up shit. Now when he's back in the boat, there's gonna be a great storm. He's gonna be sailing again. Heard. Let's go.
Right. It's at least what he's hoping for, I think.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
There you have it.
America. Made to America.
Thither
Hell
by
yeah.
the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
Ooh.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my
Ficus.
rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Okay. That's fair, bro. Trivia? Is this your... Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in his decision to step away from writing. poetry, and concentrate on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments. Sorry. Weird time for that cough to happen. And at the proper time, take advantage of their most altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Something about that excerpt really just hits right now. How did I open the door from here?
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Boobs.
You and your boobs.
Boobs. I've been saying this wrong the whole time?
Yes, I've been trying to tell you it's Dagon.
Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the
Done
Middle
with
East
you.
as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon, why don't they spell it that way, was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
So before Ubisoft sucked, they had this game that they had. It really wasn't all that big.
Under the sea.
And hold on, I'm
Sorry.
not done.
Sorry.
One
Soon
of the
perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
One of the locations was called Dagon, and it was filled with green-like creatures that had tentacles for hair. I'm done.
So kind of like my hair.
Yep. Tentacles for hair. You were correct.
Excellent. More trivia?
Hell yeah.
August Derleth and the Cthulhu mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company. Batman? Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine, because Derleth was a devout Catholic, to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Now, we do need to figure out, is this the same Arkham?
It is not.
Stop! Don't look at me like that! You didn't know! You just see right through my soul, don't you?
Always do.
I'm talking to the bust, not you. Wait. Why did I walk over here if I just need... I'm gonna throw.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
Again.
The thing. I looked to see if his dick was out.
I tried morphine, but the drug has
Okay.
given only transient
I was thinking more
and
of
has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
1970, what, 1978,
So now
the thing?
I am to end it all, having
no.
written a full account of the information
73 or
or the
74.
contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Actually,
Hold
I'm not
on.
sure.
There's-
Look it up. I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up. 82.
82. We're fucking so off. Lovecraft on
Very
tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco. Same, brother. Even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult, in his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. What? Where's the connection there? Anyway, okay. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown in 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to. Having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. I'm not sure if I said that word right, by the way. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition. The prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as of any other.
So
What
H.P.
a-
Lovecraft was for prohibition?
What a fucking bummer, man.
Well, what's up? Says I'm kind of drunk right now.
Often, I
He
ask
says as he
myself
sets
if
down
it
his
could not
glass of
all have
bourbon.
been a pure phantasm.
Bourbon.
Have you ever seen Phantasm?
Yes.
A mere freak of
Okay.
fever
Yes.
as I lay
Sounds like you need a
sun-stricken
rewatch.
and raving in the open boat
I would say
after my escape from the
It's been a
German
while.
war.
Oh, I haven't seen it in probably 20-something years.
This I ask myself.
Okay,
Ever
when
does
was the
there
last
come
time you
before
watched
me
Phantoms?
A hideously vivid vision in
Phantoms?
reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering.
Yes,
The
I have to
nameless
rewatch
things
Phantasm.
that
It's
may
been a
at this
bit.
very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed,
Probably like
Yes.
10 years
Phan-
since I saw
worshiping their
Phantoms.
ancient stone idols and carving their
Bro,
own
you need to watch it. I
detestable
watched it
likenesses on
this year, baby.
submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
Phantoms is the shit, yo.
I dream of a day
Lee
when
Schreiber,
they
Ben
rise
Affleck?
above the billows
Absolutely.
To drag down into their
No, I didn't
reeking
name any of the
talons
female
the
actresses.
remnants of
One's
puny,
insane, and Ben
war-exhausted
Affleck is
mankind.
gorgeous. So is Liev Schreiber.
One's insane
But I
and
like
moved to
when-
Mexico.
Oh, then we're not talking about this. So the two of them are insane. Wait,
No,
which
we're talking
one's
about the same
insane?
one. Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan.
Of a
Okay.
day when the
McGowan.
land shall sink, and the dark
McGowan.
ocean shall ascend
Rose Dagon.
amidst universal pandemonium.
Fuck off.
That's New York. Ask me how I know. Where's the
they're,
World
they're not there.
Where's the
They're-
World Trade Center?
They're not. They're
How
not
did you
there.
know what I was?
I knew. I knew.
That homeless
The
video
end
hasn't
is
even come
near.
out yet. Hello?
Oh, so this is why you want to throw yourself out the window.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
You got her wet, bro. Congrats.
I can't even do that.
Can I just do more drugs? Alright.
It shall not find
Yes, more drugs.
It shall
Now
not
look towards the
find me.
window.
No.
God, that hand!
Hell yeah, brother.
The window!
It's gonna give you
the
a
window.
slippy hand job.
To the wall!
You gotta look at the window.
Till sweat drips down these balls! I skeet skeet!
We do take these things seriously, guys. I'm so sorry.
When? I'm so sorry. I did kind of enjoy this game.
I did enjoy the story. It was a fantastic story.
Right? Should we?
A bit
Okay.
cryptic for those that are not, you know,
Nerds?
big on words. Yes.
Oh, okay.
like I said, I dated someone that she didn't like to learn. She didn't. And instead of taking the time,
And scary stories
okay,
have been
that's what that
accompanying
word
men
means.
for centuries. They have many faces and forms. But what is their purpose? Why do we enjoy being afraid so much? During our therapy, I'll try to
Why do we enjoy being afraid so much?
There's a kitty under my feet now. Oh. I wonder if that's
Well,
how
they
you
even
do
have
it.
this. It probably is.
Oh. We missed a lot.
You missed a lot.
That's bullshit. Oh well.
I didn't really even
Hey.
see a lot, to tell you the truth.
Right? Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed this for what it was. It was a story video. There was not much action.
Except from us two jackasses going on tangents.
I don't remember one tangent we went on, so that's a lie.
He's also a gaslighter.
No, I actually don't remember just because, like, whenever we record, I have to turn my RAM off because I can't store anything in my brain. It just has to enter my ears. My brain does stuff. It comes out my mouth. Nothing gets retained. That's just the way it is. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Cameron, you're stuck here forever.